In this video tutorial, I will explain how to implement cascading drop-downs in a VARIAM. Cascading drop-downs are those drop-downs where the choices displayed in one drop-down depend on the currently selected value in another drop-down. Let's look at an example. Suppose we're developing an application that allows users to hire a car. To hire a car, the user clicks on some menu item in the system. The system displays a form with two drop-downs. The first drop-down allows the user to select the car brand he wants. When he selects the brand, the system automatically populates the second drop-down with the different models that this brand supports. The user picks the model, clicks on the search button, and the system displays all the cars for this brand and model that the user can hire. The form that allows the user to select the brand and the corresponding model has cascading drop-downs. Let me explain how to implement such a system. First of all, we need to define all the objects that we will need in the system. Let's start with a car brand object. It will have just one attribute, name. Then we will need the car model object. It will also have the name, and it will have a reference to the car brand object called brand. Then there is the car object. It will have a reference to the car model. We do not need the explicit reference to the car brand because the car model already belongs to a brand. But we do need some other attributes specific to a car. For example, number plate, and body color. And we could add some other attributes as well. There are many different ways to implement our car selection process. What I will do here is this. When the user selects car hire operation, I will create an instance of a temporary business object and display a form of this object. The form will have two cascading drop-downs, for the brand and for the corresponding model. Once the user clicks OK on the form, I will show a query that will display all the cars for the selected brand and model and let the user pick the one he wants. So we need another object that represents the selection of brand and model. Let's call it car model selection. It will be a temporary object. It will have two attributes, brand and model. And now the crucial part of this tutorial. I'll show you how to create a form with cascading drop-downs. First of all, let's create standard drop-downs. Make sure that both brand and model attributes are shown as combo boxes. So we'll go to the presentation options of the brand attribute first, and select combo box as a widget type for this attribute. I will display name in the drop-down. We will fetch all records at once, and we will sort by name. And I will do the same thing for the model attribute. And now, to make the drop-downs cascading, we have to make sure that the choices of the model drop-down change depending on the current value in the brand drop-down. In other words, whenever the user selects a brand, the choices in the model drop-down change to only show the models of the selected brand. To do this, we select the model attribute and then go to the record sorting and filtering property. Then we tick filter records and specify a custom query. The query will look for all car models with the same brand as the brand selected on the form of the car model selection object. So it will look like this. This is actually quite straightforward. So now that we have our cascading drop-downs, we need to define the query that shows the cars for the selected model. The query assumes that the instance of the car selection model object is in the context. And the query looks like this. Find all cars with the model equal to the selected model. Let's display some attributes for this query. And finally, we need a process to put it all together. The process is quite straightforward. The first action will show the form with cascading drop-downs to the user. And the second action will display the query so that the user can pick the cars that he wants. The only other thing we need to do is add a menu item that starts our process. Let's see how this works. So we put the version under test and log into the application. Let's create a couple of brands. Toyota and Ford, for example. And then create a couple of models for each brand. To save us some time, I have already created a couple of cars for each model. Let's now pretend that we're hiring a car. So we choose the Select Car operation, and the system shows us the form of our car selection model object. And here we see our two cascading drop-downs. When we select a brand here, we can see that the choices of the model only show the models of the Ford brand. If we now change this to Toyota, we can only see the choices for Toyota. So we can pick one, click search, and then the system shows only the cars for the Toyota Camry. So that's how you implement cascading drop-downs in a ORM.